there.
10 years, 100,000 miles. And it's been #1 in customer loyalty 5 years in a row. Test drive the Sonata during the Hyundai 100,000 Reasons event.
You need to stay here, Tay.
0% financing for 72 months or $2,000 bonus cash.
They're going over there, just wait.
Your local Hyundai.
Playing songs.
But there's only 2, you need like 4.
Well, we can use 2 because...
Wait, Tay, wait, I'm moving it. Okay. Where is he? He's over there. Shoot.
Some major league clubs have official songs. Others have rallying cries. Sunday Night Baseball, Orioles Red Sox at 7. Baseball rules on ESPN.
Stephen Digg back again. SportsCenter playoffs tomorrow. Let's talk the East. Raptors Nets. That features 2 of the hottest teams in the conference since January 1st. Since the new year, Nets have the 2nd best record in the East. Raptors are 3rd best. The Heat face the Bobcats, a team they have just owned since the Big Three joined forces in Miami. A perfect 15-0 over Charlotte. Hard to top perfect. It's their best record against
You can use my iPod.
Bulls and Wizards featuring a Chicago team that's excellent on one end, not so hot on the other.
No.
Bulls have the 2nd best defensive efficiency in the NBA, but ranked in the bottom 5 offensively. Finally, Pacers and Hawks, 2 teams with the same record since March the 1st, 12 and 13. Only 2 teams in NBA history finished with a sub-500 record over the last 25 games and then went on to win the title. So, according to our friends at Elias, 137 teams in NBA history entered the All-Star break with a win percentage of 700 or better. That would include the Pacers this season. Among those teams, only 4 registered
Remember, you
a worst
first
post
go
All-Star
because
win
you left
percentage
LeBron
than
and
Indiana.
then
They
like-
went 16 and 14 after the break, and none of those 4 teams made it to the conference finals. Did you get all that? Right? Did you get it all, Bruce?
I got it all.
Bruce Bowen with us to take a big picture look and do some
Okay,
work
watch
on
Pop.
the touch screen here. You know, everybody loves an upset unless it's your team, of course, that's upset. So who are the top teams that are in danger of Super League golfing this year?
Golfing is a wonderful sport, but as far as I'm concerned, the one that has the most to worry about is not in this country per se, but in the great country of Canada. And I have the Raptors losing out to number 6 seeded Brooklyn Nets. I think when you think about the Brooklyn Nets, you have veteran team there. You have Kevin Garnett. You have Paul Pierce, Joe Johnson, Darren Williams. Those guys are playing in a way where they've experienced so much as compared to this younger team as far as the Raptors are concerned. First time in the playoffs, your eyes are kind of big. You're like, wow, this is really happening. It's so much fun. But that is what I have there for that situation.
Yeah, well, you know, on the other side of things, they know what it feels like to slide on that ring, so that can help a little bit. Let's talk about a difference maker. Who is it in the East for you?
You know, for the East, for me, he doesn't get a lot of credit because he's in that lovely city of Miami. You know, we talk about LeBron, we talk about D-Wade, but there's somebody else there that has been very consistent this year, and that's Chris Bosh. Without Chris Bosh this year, they lose the ability to stretch the floor at the power forward position and sometimes at the 5. But his consistency for this ball club has been tremendous. We talk about what LeBron James does. We talk about the absence of Dwayne Wade, but no one has really given credit to what Chris Bosh has been able to do, stretching the floor. And even on the defensive side, there's a lot of times those superstars don't play a lot of defense, but Chris Bosh is one of those that does play defense. So I think he deserves the credit of being a difference maker in the playoffs.
Spoken from a man who knows what it takes to play defense. All right, what about coaching? Who do you give the edge to in the East?
Yeah?
You know, you would ask me before my first year in the
Teo,
NBA,
go, I'm videotaping Papa.
But this guy used to shag rebounds for me, and he did a great job. And that is Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra has the experience. They've only been to the finals the past 3 years. And, you know, that's all. But more importantly, he can go off of past times that they've been in certain situations. I mean, game 6, you know, they're down. He can utilize that and just tour the country with speeches of how not to give up on your goals and stick to the plan. So with Eric Spoelstra, it's a great time for me to say kudos to him, but he has a coaching edge because he's been in so many different scenarios when it comes to representing a good team in the most publicized time.
Yeah, what do they say? Experience
Can
is
we
the
play,
greatest feature that you
Texas
can
Hold'em?
have. So, most important question on this list.
I'll
Who
play
is the
PS.
team to beat in the Eastern Conference, Bruce?
Well, I think it only
Okay.
deserves to go to
Whoa.
the team that's been to the finals the past 3 years, and that is the Miami Heat. As far as I'm concerned, you can never talk about anything unless you beat the champs. Until somebody beats the champs, that's when we'll start talking about other teams and what they can do. But they've done it for 3 years in a row. They've won the past 2 titles. I think it's a credit just to them to be able to still play at a high level. They're playing into June 20-something each year. That's a long time. You know, we don't talk about starting training camp in October and then playing all the way through June.
Yeah.
The fatigue that takes place.
I am. He's going.
But this group here has done a fantastic job of keeping it together, just kind of strolling along. We're getting to that point where now they get the rest and they can focus on one team at a time. And I look for it to be a thrilling playoffs.
Yeah, and we already know LeBron is excited. You might notice that we have one half filled in and another half remaining. That's because Bruce Bowen is coming back to talk about the West. Stick around.
Well, Johnny Manziel scheduled to work out for the Browns tomorrow. Cleveland currently has the number 4 overall pick in the first round. The Browns, one of 2 teams that did not have a formal interview with Manziel at the NFL Scouting Combine in February or attend his pro day last month. Mel Kiper Jr. has 3 quarterbacks going in the first round, with Johnny Football being the first to go, number 4 to Cleveland. He then has Blake Bortles and Derek Carr going to the Vikings and Cards, respectively, at 8 and 20. His top-rated quarterback, however, on the big board is Teddy Bridgewater, but Teddy drops all the way to the Texans with the first pick in the second round. So now welcome in our NFL draft expert, Mel Kiper Jr., and our NFL analyst, Herm Edwards. No Todd McShay for you, so
He could be around. He's getting his priority free agent list ready.
there we go.
At work, 24 hours a day.
Mel, you've got Manziel going to the Browns at 4. Why do you say that?
They need somebody to energize this organization. They have not had a quarterback of consequence since Bernie Kosar. And you think about what they have around the quarterback. They have some nice pieces in place. Johnny Football would come in, Johnny Manziel, and give them exactly what they need in a division with Roethlisberger, Flacco, and Dalton. They need to catch up. You can't be a distant 4th in your division at quarterback and have any chance to be a playoff caliber team, no matter what you have. And they have enough pieces in place. Remember, they had a late first-round pick from Indy. They had a cornerback like Kyle Fuller from Virginia Tech. That early second-round pick that landed them Cody Latimer from Indiana, wide receiver. They get Devontae Adams from Fresno State. So you can get the receiver, the corner, and the quarterback within the first 3 picks you have. By the early second round, they have become a much better football team.
Oh.
More information by Mel, but the Browns sit in a great situation. They have the 4th pick in the first round, the 26th pick now. What they can do is this. They can look at the scenario. Let's say Johnny Manziel goes somewhere else. Let's just say he goes to Jacksonville. Or he's still on the board with Bortles. They have the ability to do this, to move down out of that 4th pick, go get another 2nd pick, call up the Washington Redskins and say, you know what, we want a quarterback that's a little bit more seasons. Are you willing to give Kirk Cousins up to us for a 2nd-round pick? They have 2 number 2s then. Give their pick to Cleveland, give their pick to Washington. Washington's happy they got a 2nd-round pick. Now they're back in the mix with a guy that's ready to play right now and doesn't have to worry about a rookie quarterback.
And the Redskins might be willing to do that. Of course, they picked up Colt McCoy this past offseason, so they have potentially a new backup for RG3. So where do you think, Coach, that Johnny Manziel will go if it's not Cleveland?
Well, Jacksonville, here's why. A year ago, they had a chance to get the boop, boop, the big choo-choo train. Now they can get the chee-chee little choo-choo train. Johnny Manziel. This is a team that really right now is struggling for identity. And like Mel says, Johnny Manziel brings people to the game. They need to fill those stands up. Remember, Gus Bradley comes from Seattle. They played with a 5'11" quarterback up there, by the way, that just won the Super Bowl. So he's not worried about the height of the quarterback. And the owner would be sitting there going, ooh, we get some people in the stands. Johnny Manziel's electric. They need somebody like that. They need somebody to take this Jacksonville organization and just put them on their back. Johnny Manziel, that kind of guy.
Every quarterback needs a wide receiver. You actually have the Jaguars not picking the quarterback But Sammy Watkins, why do you see him there?
Here's the thought process. If you're picking where they are at 3, you got to get the second or third best player. You can't get the 10th to 15th best player. So you take the guy that I think is the second or third best player, Sammy Watkins from Clemson. He gives you a dynamic presence at wide receiver. He gives you that ability after the catch, which is unbelievable. Could be better than A.J. Green as a rookie. Now you say, well, who's going to be the quarterback? Well, you got an early second-round pick who could bring you maybe Jimmy Garoppolo from Eastern Illinois, same school that Tony Romo came out of. Now you have your quarterback in the second round, maybe even a Tom Savage from Pittsburgh. There are other quarterbacks other than the big 3, and you get the big-time receiver for Jacksonville. You don't reach and stretch for a quarterback. Say, hey, why did Cleveland stretch? They have a late 1 and an early 2 as well. So they got opportunities to do some damage. They can roll the dice on a Manziel. Jacksonville can't get in a situation where they are rolling the dice, and let's face facts. Sammy Watkins is a special player in this draft.
I agree with Mel. He's a special player, but let's just say Jacksonville does pick a quarterback. Whether it's Manziel, whatever they do, Bortles with it, guess where he's going? To the Raiders. Why? 12 free agents the Raiders go out and get. They get Matt Schaub, Maurice Jones-Drew. They got James Jones. This is a veteran football team. They need a guy to take the top off the defense. This is the guy. You know him. Sammy Watkins can run fast. This is an old Raider guy. If Mr. Davis was alive, he'd go, he needs to be a Raider because he can run fast. So look for the Raiders, if he's still available, to pick this young man.
All right, so you've got Watkins going to the Raiders. You've got Watkins going to the Jags. I mean, this could all change in the next month as, of course, the NFL draft a little less than 3 weeks from today. Thanks, fellas.
A wild finish between the Wild and the Avs last night. Patrick Waughe's won 2 cups with the Avs as a player, has been back in the playoffs now as a coach. Not afraid to be bold. 3 minutes to go, down 1. He pulls Semyon Varlamov, trying to get that game-tying goal. 1.5 minutes to go. Eric Aula slinging an empty net. Oh my goodness, Eric Johnson just manages to get
How was
to
it?
save the empty net goal. Whew. If you're a Colorado fan, you were a little nervous, but with 20 seconds to play, now you are a little loud.
You want to get some gas?
Gas?
Yeah, with this. You're done, right? Yeah, it's all good.